We are starting to actually make some progress. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We now have the names of 6 people who are, of course, involved. We'll get into that. We also have more people talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. We'll get into that a little bit. We have a ton of other stuff to get into. New updates from, of course, the files. A lot of people are calling for something to actually happen. We had to pull teeth just to get these 6 names. I'm guessing these 6 people are going to be prosecuted as a result of it. We're going to get into all that and much more. Let's just get into this. Let's start here. We're in a spiritual war, my friends. We have, a few days ago, Nancy Guthrie kidnapped. They have live updates, potential subject seen at front door. They have an image captured down here from their doorbell camera of the man. And so they're now still looking for this lady, FBI is. And what's so bizarre is when you start to look deep into the connection between this and the Epstein emails. So what's interesting about it is this lady is a teacher of the Bible. Nancy Guthrie teaches the Bible at her home church, Cornerstone Presbyterian Church in Franklin, Tennessee. Why would they take her captive? Why are they kidnapping her? This is so bizarre, right? So what you discover, though, when you look into the Epstein emails, is that her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is personally named in the files. Her mother was kidnapped for ransom just when we dropped the Epstein files. Nancy Guthrie mysteriously disappears. Is this a professional, of course, hit? Savannah's husband, Michael Feldman, who founded a PR consultancy firm with Joe Lockhart, who was Bill Clinton's White House press secretary. Bill Clinton is scheduled to appear before the House subcommittee to testify about the files. This is reminiscent of that list from about, oh my goodness, how many years ago now? I remember seeing the list back in the 90s, late 90s, of the Hillmeister. We're talking Bill and Hillary. A long list of people who mysteriously, of course, died that had been in their sphere of influence. I've talked about this numerous times before. I've talked about how Dan Bongino was a Secret Service detail for Clinton. A lot of people are not even aware of it. You go to the Wikipedia and it doesn't show it. He worked for the Clintons as well. Why am I mentioning that? Well, it's interesting that of all those Secret Service members that worked with the Clintons, you had a better chance of living through Vietnam than you did being just simply on detail protecting those two, because of how many of them died mysteriously around them. Yet for some reason, he didn't die. It's kind of strange, you know? And then, of course, he worked with the FBI, and he now went back to the mic. He's doing his show again. But to me, it's interesting because you have all these people in the sphere of influence around Bill and Hillary. Mysterious things happen. These files drop. Somehow, this is connected. You can see the names. Savannah Guthrie, named in the files. Her mother gets kidnapped. And then we have other bizarre stuff I'm going to show you in a minute. So after leaving the government, Lockhart became a senior partner at the Glover Park Group, the firm co-founded by Michael Feldman. Joe Lockhart then sold his Kalorama property at 2446 Belmont Road to Barack Obama. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Now enters Greg Rothschild, the managing director for Glover Park Group's Government Affairs Division. Roth, of course, child wife Stephanie mysteriously passed away in a car accident in 2021. The connection surrounds Savannah Guthrie from all corners, no coincidences. a lot is lurking behind the scenes with these files. Guthrie-Epstein connection is very interesting. The cartel elites have warned Savannah and her husband not to talk about their personal knowledge of the Clintons and Barack Obama involvement. Could this have 100% well, I think it is pretty obvious at this point, a connection? Maybe she knew something. This little Bible teacher lady seemed to know a little bit too much, maybe, and this is why she was kidnapped. Is that what's going on here? As Epstein would say, whoops. That's another thing that's now being discovered, is every time someone dies, he says whoops. Does it mean that he was involved in all the things he says whoops behind? And is this, I mentioned this is a spiritual war. We now have another thing going viral right now about a Christian girl. They're talking about and mocking in these emails. She said she felt God's presence next to her when she was in bed. She knows that Jesus watches over her and he helped save her life. Whoops. Whenever he says whoops, he does this right after someone dies. He did this also in his email when he was told that RFK Jr.'s ex-wife died. He wrote whoops. He did this with a lot of different people who died, including people that were in his own family. A mother-in-law, whoops. I guess he didn't like his mother-in-law that much. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But this is the kind of stuff we are discovering in these emails. See if we can get this on the screen a little bit better here. Just wanted to give you a heads up. She's done another interview with Savannah Guthrie. In it, she said the following. She was interviewed by the FBI in 2011 by Redacted. In the interview, she gave the names of all the girls she helped, of course, to traffic. Because see, what happens is there a victim, and then something better than an NDA that Jeffrey uses is once you've been once you're this victim, then he gets you to recruit new ones. Then you're part of the crime yourself, even though you were the one who was a victim in the first place. See how that works? But maybe she said some stuff to her mother, her Christian mother, and now she's disappeared. Like over 100 people. I mean, literally back in the 90s, it was over 100. It was like 120 already. I think the list was like 120 people, if I remember correctly. Back in the late 90s, when the internet just started, I saw... I was on the internet back when it started. Okay, I mean, all they had was forums on college campuses. I was on the internet at my college making websites already. And I remember they were already passing around this Hillary and Bill Clinton, list. And it was already very long back in the late 90s. Okay, that's how bad it was. Okay, and I'm sure it's longer now than it was back then. All the people surrounding, of course, people that allegedly Bill was with, mysteriously dying. I wonder who might be behind that. I don't know. So could that be what's going on here? It seems like there is a little bit of a potential connection. I mean, a lot of it, actually, a lot of it, potential connection. We know about the chef who mysteriously was a swimmer, but somehow, couldn't handle 6 foot of deep water. Right near, of course, a certain president's house. I think you know who I'm referring to. Also, one of the two here that's listed besides Bill and Hillary. We got also Obama. Kind of weird. Kid Rock apparently #1 on Apple Music charts, beating Bad Bunny. Of course, they're talking as if Bad Bunny had the largest turnout ever. I think it was like 139 million or whatever it was. However, from what I can tell, actually, that's not really the case. His song, Kid Rock, is higher than Bad Bunny's, which is kind of interesting. They had, I think, almost 10 million people show up for the alternate halftime show by TPA USA. You had also some rather bizarre things discovered regarding what was being said in Spanish at the Super Bowl halftime show. It wasn't all innocent stuff. Let's just put it that way. All right. So they had, for one, they had Spanish for the entire thing. They wave almost every other country's flag in the whole thing when they go in. And it's obviously a political statement. Here are some of the lyrics in his song. My dick is being chased and I want to hide it. Grab it for like a bonga. She took a pill that made her horny. What the hell is this? The whole song is like this. Okay, he's literally just talking like this the entire song. That was in Spanish. I mean, it would have probably not been allowed if it was in English. This is what's so ridiculous about it. Yeah, Tim Pool mentioned that it had a great production from a production standpoint, but a dud from a cultural standpoint. It's obvious everyone that in the media is just saying it was so great because this is what they do for all their manufactured cultural shit. And I think I agree with him on that. Like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff. We have apparently a new TV series from Mel Gibson. We'll get into that. Kind of interesting. That just came out hours ago. We have also a bunch of other crazy stuff. Fort Knox. We got Kash Patel. We got Pam Bondi. We got a ton of stuff. Okay, we're going to get into these names of 6 people. And actually, technically, there's 8 people that have now been named. Look like they're going to probably all get in trouble because they've been protecting the predators, from what I can tell. All right, let's just, before we get into all that, first I got to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description, 3 months worth. For $6.97, you're going to definitely want to get that. Also, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. You never know what's next. We've seen all the insanity over the last 5+ years. $37, get the printed version. Also, check me out on X, Twitter. We're actually making some progress. I need to get more of you guys over there. Obviously, it's only a few percent of you guys I think are over there at this point. Go check it out. Link is in the description for that. Let's get back to the video. So we have here Mel Gibson, apparently a new TV series, 1565, Great Siege of Malta. Mel Gibson is developing a new TV series about the Great Siege of Malta. Knights Hospitalier, led by Jean Perisot de Valette. I don't even know how you say it. Repelled Sultan Suleiman's massive armada, halting Ottoman advances. So you got here a new TV series being developed by him. Also in the exact same time, he's also working on a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. He's been doing it in Rome, Italy. This is interesting. So what was a project focused on the historic stand where roughly 700 Christian Knights of St. John repelled an Islamist Ottoman invasion force of 40,000. Damn, that's awesome. Mel Gibson has already scouted locations on the island, met with Maltese Prime Minister Robert Abella. Production. Oh, so he's actually doing this in a different location. So he was working recently, it was last year, in Rome on the sequel to The Passion. Apparently he's doing this. He's scouting islands with the Maltese Prime Minister Robert Abella. Production is unlikely to begin until at least 2026. Okay, well, we are in 2026. As he prioritizes filming the 2-part sequel to The Passion of the Christ. Right, so okay. So he's actually making 2 more sequels to The Passion of the Christ. And he's also working on this, so that's awesome. Got some awesome news in that respect. You have here, getting over to some of the actual main topics of the video, you have Fort Knox. Apparently in these emails, it says that there's no gold in Fort Knox. We were all wondering about that. Dominic Strauss-Kahn arrested not because he raped, a maid, but because he had evidence U.S. has no gold in Fort Knox. You have this email. No, that's actually the same thing. There was actually an email on this. Yeah, here it is. This FSB report says that when Strauss raised his concerns with the American government, it's not showing on the screen, is it? Ah, there it is. This FSB report says that when Strauss raised his concerns with the American government officials close to President Obama, he was contacted by rogue elements within the CIA of Corsair, who provided him firm evidence that all of the gold reported to be held by the U.S. was gone. So this is in the emails as well. Yeah, we were all thinking it might be gone. Yeah, and it is, apparently. Maybe it is. I mean, at least that's what the emails are sort of indicating. You have here the mention of pizza, of course, in the files, 911 times. That number is rather curious. A lot of people are not aware, but actually, Jesus was born in 3 BC on this date, September, of course. In that day, you can see this in Stellarium. I've shown it before on video. That's when all the wandering stars aligned. You've heard the phrase, when the stars align for you. All the wandering stars, which are planets, aligned in a straight line on that day in the sky on his birth, which, of course, also shows you the Revelation 12 sign, which we saw back in 2017. We saw it again, I think, in 2024. And that also ties into the star that the Magi or magicians were following to his birth location. But I just thought it was interesting. I think this is intentional that they show it that many times. I don't think that's a coincidence. I could be wrong, but, you see these numbers all the time. You start to realize things. You start to notice things. 33,000, 333,000, 33 everywhere, right? You see that all the time as well. You have Kash Patel. Thanks to the efforts of Thomas Massey, yesterday we now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Kash Patel perjured himself when he said this to Congress just 5 months ago, where he said basically he saw no evidence whatsoever of anybody else being involved. Now we have the evidence. Actually, here you have Pam Bondi, the DOJ, when government officials are harming, of course, the younger, completely blind, need a walking stick. The DOJ, when someone makes paperwork error purchasing a firearm. It's got like a telescope. Sounds about right. Rules for thee, but not for me, is sort of how it is. And we know the system's rigged. I'm going to show you something crazy on my other channel. Him winning the lottery is insane. The timing and what part of his company won it. You had, of course, this guy recently say there was no men in the files that did anything, of course, to these women. Girls, stop asking about it. Todd Blanche. Now we learn, actually, no, we have criminals that were being redacted. And it's been released because of Massey and also because of this guy here, Ro Khanna. And I forced last night the DOJ to disclose the identities of 6 men: Salvatore Nura, Zurab, I can't even say his name, Milaski, whatever the hell his name is, Leonov, Nicola Caputo, Sultan Ahmed bin Solyam. I don't even know how to say these names. Billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner. There's actually others as well. I'm going to show you in a minute. Obviously, this is very international. You got, looks like Saudi Arabian princes or sultans or something. I don't know. American businessmen, people from random countries. This looks like someone who's probably, I don't know, not Russian. I don't know where that's from. Can't think off the top of my head. Various countries, as you can tell here, obviously. So these names have been read, and now everyone's out there looking for their pages or various, Instagram or whatever, Facebook, see who they are. And here, let's just play this clip here.
So this is gonna blow your mind, okay? We got 6 new names that just came out of the Epstein files, and now members of Congress are actually going into the SCIF to review the redactions on the Epstein files, and they're uncovering that Todd Blanche and the DOJ is covering up their labeling pedophiles as victims so that they can redact their name. And Rapaluna just said this.
Okay, is there anything you can share from what you saw today?
I've posted about it publicly, but some of the people that are in the most egregious redactions are claiming to be victims, and I don't think that they're
You now have billionaires, just like every name on this list, and it's super important, right? Because I don't know who these people are, and I've been trying to do some Google searches, so if you come across their social media, their Facebook, their Instagram, you need to be using the Wayback Time Machine, you need to be backing it up, because these people are all going to be immediately scrubbing everything from the internet. So hopefully people are already ahead of it, and they've already got it done. I just backed up this dude's name and his Facebook page. I think if that's him, but I need help because I don't know if you just heard what just went down on Capitol Hill, but another member of Congress just said this.
Just wanted to ask you, have you had a chance to review any of the unredacted files over at the DOJ, the Epstein files?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I just came from there.
What can you tell us?
There's a bunch of sick fucks.
And I mean, anything more that
That's pretty descriptive.
we don't know? I feel like that's pretty well established.
I know. I think the part that
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah. Sick fucks. I mean, that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, that's a pretty good way to describe them. So, of course, we got more to go into with regards to all of this. I mean, honestly, what's going on here, right? You got Pam Bondi. You have Kash Patel. They have been doing nothing in regards to this. Actually, they've been working against us. It's almost like, I don't know what to say about this. It's clear that our president wanted this stuff released, but these people he appointed are horrible. They're absolutely horrible. They're doing a terrible job. Now, it's not, and here's the thing. Some people think, well, it must be our president that's, behind this. That's why they're doing such a terrible job. The fact is, though, he's already gotten pissed off at Kash and Pam like multiple times, not even about these files, about other stuff, where they'll have a slam dunk case against, like, for example, Obama, and they'll just totally drop the ball. And they've done it numerous times, and now they got another slam dunk case. Are they going to do anything or not? So, it's just really unfortunate that he appointed these two people. They're horrible. They're doing literally nothing. Up till now, he had Tulsi Gabbard. She's doing some good stuff. RFK doing some great stuff. You got a few people out there. But it seems like every single time there's some sort of snakes that get in there, and they don't do nothing. I'm really hoping they actually do something. It's really getting disgusting, actually, at this point. And, I mean, he had to pull teeth just to get these 6 names. You have other names as well. You have Steve Bannon, which I think should be prosecuted. But, I mean, his crime, it's worse than, okay, how do you say this? He's trying to improve the look and reputation of Jeffrey Epstein. That's insane. But he didn't, I don't know if we have evidence that he literally did any of these quote unquote crimes, but him trying to make Jeffrey look like a saint, that to me seems like you should deserve a prison sentence for that alone. Just for that alone. Another one bites the dust. France former culture minister resigns over ties with Jeffrey. Jake Lang, France former culture minister, resigned after his name appeared 600 times in the files. He and his daughter are now under investigation. And actually, I do think there is some stuff with Bannon as well. Where is it at? Yeah, here we go. Elon's been texting about this. Or tweeting, whatever you call it. Steve Bannon wasn't just connected to Jeffrey. He was one of his closest friends. Hundreds of texts, personal interviews for sympathetic documentary. Money laundering. Okay, I think we could get him maybe on money laundering. He owned a Chinese company that was working with making a video game where you could trade quote unquote gold within the game. And of course, also there is something about World of Warcraft where he was connected to that, where you could transmit money via a video game, World of Warcraft. And that would be a way to essentially move money around or money launder. So I think this guy needs to be prosecuted as well. Steve Bannon. On the right, you got people on the left, you got people all over the place, other countries, you got sultans, you got princes, you got former cultural ministers, you got everybody. All these people need to be prosecuted, straight up. And so what is this one here? Yeah, so they're trying to say that there's no blackmail ring, when it's pretty obvious there is. Okay, we have here Leon Black, one of the founders of Apollo Management, another billionaire, paid out $170 million to Jeffrey after probe found evidence it was funding his traffic, of course, network, right? But he claimed it was for tax purposes. So Leon Black, a billionaire, claimed he is paying Jeffrey $170 million for tax help or tax purposes. This is the same crap that Peter Thiel said on Joe Rogan, saying that he heard he was a good tax guy. Yeah, Jeffrey's a good tax guy. You got to go to him for tax advice. Or more like, so you can launder money illegally? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're trying to say. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. I don't know. I'll play that clip over on my other channel. You got a lawsuit against Leon Black. We're talking grape, autistic teen. This is some crazy stuff when you look into this. This is from NBC News. This dude, oh my goodness, this autistic teen, multiple pregnancies, just completely being, of course, used by this guy in Jeffrey. Really disgusting, actually, when you look into it. I mean, all this is. I mean, I don't even like talking about this. I mean, I don't like looking into this stuff, but someone's got to talk about it and tell everybody about it, right? And I kind of keep it PG because it's kind of hard with this stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, there's some insane stuff in here. Actually, I don't think I can even keep it PG. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to lighten the load when I talk about this. December 15th, 2010, Pope Benedict the 16th received a performance of shirtless gymnasts who performed in a gay circus, which confused a lot of people. I remember talking about this back then, I think. I remember this. Did I talk about it? No, I think back then, 2010, I was on YouTube. I might have talked about it, but maybe I just saw it and I don't know. Maybe I talked about it. I can't remember. I was here back then, though. On December 28th, Boris Nikolic sent an email to Jeffrey saying, hope that you put the Pope in shame with your gymnasts. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's read this. How are you? Hope that you put Pope in shame with your gymnasts. The thing with all these people writing emails to Jeffrey is they don't even use correct grammar. They misspell words. It's like you expect it to be written a certain way and you can't even read it. What are you doing for New Year? Did you know that Maxwell had a birthday the other day or today, just in case you forgot? All the best, Boris. So obviously this Boris guy set up this gay circus to be performing in the Vatican audience hall. And again, the Vatican audience hall itself is a mockery. On top of this gay circus act in front of the Pope, that's a mockery. The audience hall itself is a mockery of Christianity. It's literally a snake's head. When you look from the outside, it looks like it from the inside. It has fangs. It has this weird ass statue they claim is Jesus, when it has literally it looks like the head of a gecko or like a reptile of some sort. It's clearly a mockery. And I've talked in the past about what's underneath the Vatican. I guess in one of my videos, one of my most popular videos on this channel, on God Rules, not this channel, but my other channel. At any rate, you get the idea. And I'm going to get into actually tons more over on my other channel. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.